Morning, everyone. Is my audio working? Looks like it is. Kind of, sort of. But it's kind of in the way. Hello! Need to sort out my lighting situation, my camera situation. This camera right here that's looking at me is just really overexposed. It's actually quite dark in my office. I can't explain to you. Like, it looks really bright behind me, but and outside looks bright. It's dark. I just don't know why these cameras, these webcams, pick up so much light. It's crazy. I've got one light in front of me. It's my see if I can bring it in front. It's my magnifying glass light. It's just bouncing against the wall. So what happened to the dev board? Oh. That's a long story. Long story. So let's go. Who's here? So, hey Chris. Hey Gregor. Hey Death Shaker. Hello Leo. Colin. Michael. Welcome everyone. Just going to go a few more minutes. Let some more people join. Gary. Hello Gary. Good evening. I'm going to try to drink my coffee today while it's hot. Don't know. So I've got my screen a bit closer to me, and I've got this camera a bit closer than it was last week. Try to center it more on me. Me. So you can see the pained expression on my face when I do more damage to my board today. I should actually get ready, should prepare, turn my iron on. Hey Antonin. Hello M. Sana. Good morning. I feel like I've got something on my glasses that's not letting me see through them, which would be kind of pointless, right? Hey Greg. Is that better? That's better. It's not too bad. Got a few things to talk about this morning, but we'll just let a few more people turn up first. So we don't do some repeating, or not too much repeating. There'll be a little bit of repeating, but not too much repeating. I think we're going to need our soldering iron today and our hot air station, for sure. Am I prepared? Have I got everything that I need? I don't know. Okay, Mike. Welcome. I've got my battery, which I've charged. I've got some boards. Where did I put my... I've got my breadboard that I can mount the board in to keep it still while I'm working on it. What else do I need? Tweezers. We're gonna do a bit of a pull the board apart, I think. Yeah, I know. I don't know. I don't have any light in here. I've got one light on, and it's dark in my office. It's the Hey David. It's this webcam specific. It's a really old webcam. It's like an old Logitech 720p. It's before all of the 900 series. I don't even know what it is. It's unbranded, just Logitech, and it just picks up so much light. If you could honestly see what it looks like to me inside my office right now, it's like I'm in a cave in the dark. I can't work it out. I need to get another one of these, the 900 series cams that I've got here. I need to get another one of those that I can use over here, and that way I can control it through the software. The software that I've got for the Logitech won't even control this old camera. It's so old. I look like a vampire. I think last week I said I look like an albino if I had white eyes. Yeah. Sorry, folks. This is the way it's going to be. It's either that or I need to... I don't know what I can do. David, to answer your question, am I feeling any better? I'm over my cold, but I have a sinus infection, and it's not going away. and I've taken quite a lot of congestion stuff this morning to try to stop my nose from running. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice. I have a very large workspace because this used to be my game dev office. I've got I think I mentioned it in a stream a while ago. So it's a 3-car length garage, which is kind of ridiculous. We didn't build it. we bought the house. So it's a single width but 3-car lengths long, which is a really bizarre shape. So what I did was I took a car length at the front and kept that as a garage, so we could park a car in there, except I've got it as a workspace and storage. And then the rest of it I converted into an office for my game dev company. So there used to be 3 or 4 of us working in here. It's quite large. I don't even know if I can maybe, don't know if this other camera will look, no, we'll have a look around. Hey, everyone got to see my lap, which is great, my crotch, which is just ideal. Not what I meant. I'm trying to think, hang on, maybe I could do this. Let's do this. For all of those that are interested, I'll just pull this off my monitor. Let's see if I can have a look around. So it's quite long. I've got couches down one side. Only in Australia, yeah. So I've got couches. So that's the desk at the very, very end, where the curtains are closed. That's my workbench. My standing desk. That's where I do my coding and my PCB stuff and whatever else. That's my desk, I still call it. And then there's other desks where other people that used to work with me, and even my workbench here used to be my artist. But since I've wound the game stuff down, I still say temporarily, I don't know. Since I've wound the game stuff down, it's all my office. It's all my work, like electronic mess space. I get to spread my mess everywhere, which is really not a good thing. Let me tell you, because I do spread my mess everywhere. Yeah. I think the rule is the more space you've got, the more mess you can make. And occasionally I clean it up. I walk in the office some mornings and go, I keep calling it an office, whatever. It's not an office. It's my invention lab. I keep walking in here some mornings and go, oh, this is just ridiculous. And I'll spend about 2 hours cleaning it up, and then by the next day it's a mess again. Greg, I'd never seen a 3-length car garage before. Or 2.5 length, whatever it is. Like you could fit 3 cars in touching each other. It's a pretty ridiculous design. But it meant that I had the opportunity to do to set up a really cool workspace in here, like for the games. So it was quite comfortable. You know, I used to tell people that I used to work in my garage, and they had pictures of, you know, brick wall and cold and dusty and whatever. But this is quite nice. Yeah, this actually only put that off my shelf a couple of days ago. I normally use this, which is also Dymo, for my labeling. Oh, where's the camera? And I forgot I had the other one. I actually used to print Steam keys off that for shows that we used to go to when I needed to take like 1,000, 2,000 Steam keys with me. I might hook it up again and see if I can do it for all my labeling, but I don't know. The problem with all of those is they all use the paper tape. They're really rubbishy tape, and it just peels off. Like if you look at well, you can't see, but my component rack over there, it's just all the labels just peel off, which is really frustrating. Anyway, enough about labels. How is everyone? Hope everyone is good. What's the time? 7:05. We should probably get started, because I know everyone's dying to hear what I did to my board, and I don't even know what I did to my board, to be honest with you. Just very quickly, I tried to get a 3rd camera set up today. I finally got my power cable for my... Morning, Alan. Oh, just in time, Alan. Just in time. I finally got my power cable for my Lumix, my Panasonic Lumix, thanks to David Watts, who pointed me to a place to get one from. Hello, Stephen. Good morning. And I was going to set it up as a 3rd webcam, and it works perfectly on my MacBook, but on my MacBook Pro, but it won't work on my Hackintosh, unfortunately. So, there's no good news, Alan. Well, I don't know. I haven't started yet. We'll find out. I'll tell everyone the bad news in a moment. So I was going to set up a third camera that was going to be here, looking at my scope and looking at this area, but I can't do it. It wouldn't work. Okay, couple of things before we get started. This is exciting. Before I get onto the board though, I'm just going to pull this out a bit. For those of you that were overly concerned about my PLA antics, let me just focus camera. Because yes, my PLA antics. Hello Chris, welcome. My PLA antics, yeah, well, you know, as I said in my video, it's all I had on me at the time. I wasn't going to run out and get something else like PETG or anything unless I knew that the fan was going to work and the whole process was going to work. Because PETG is not cheap. Guessing scope proving shorts. Oh, Greg, you never know. Pretty good guess. Magnetic interference, much? Magnetic resonance, much? Maybe. So I did this last night. It's still even on the thing. Everyone listen, ready? Whoa, bang. That noise was me taking this off my printer. This is PETG. And it is an amazing colour that you can't even really tell. Oh, get my camera right. This is like an emerald red. So all PETG is kind of translucent. And it looks amazing on the reel. And I've got some, I'm calling it random moments. I'm going to start putting in some random moments videos, I think, that I'll release maybe once a fortnight, which is just bits and pieces of video that I took during the week that doesn't belong to anything. Anyway, there's a picture of me trying to eat it. A video of me, well, not trying to eat it, but me talking about me trying to eat it. Because it looks like the most amazing colour. Anyway, I printed this last night. It's my first time I ever printed with PETG. And I didn't even do a test print. I thought, you know what, it's either going to print or it's not. And it printed great. And, right, I don't know how good it is to remove because I haven't tried yet. I literally just pulled this off my printer. I thought I'd do this live just for fun. Just so everyone can see that I wasn't lying about how easily the other support came off. So let's go, shall we? Let me see if I can get the camera just a bit higher in case I don't knock it. In case I don't knock it, in case I do knock it. Am I in focus? Am I focused enough? Is everyone ready to see this? That's good enough focus. That's good enough focus. Okay, so the side. Okay, well that was pretty good. That just came off. A little bit of strays. It is different to PLA, so I'm expecting there'll be a little bit more cleanup or whatever. No, that came up pretty well. There you go. So I got this from the same place I get all my PLA from, a place called Bilby, which is just about 15, Bilby 3D, they're about 15, 20 minutes away, depending on traffic. So there's that, it just falls apart. See, that just falls apart. Greg, you're watching? Just falls apart. This just comes off. I just don't want to cut my fingers. And then we just pull. Look at that. Okay, see, anyone that called me a liar in my video, I wasn't lying. Just comes out. And this is PETG. This is much stronger than PLA. There's a few wispy bits I need to possibly clean up. It's, I'm not sure if you can see inside. There's a couple of, it didn't do the overhangs quite as well. Hey Barnabas, welcome. So it didn't do well, whether it's the overhangs or whether it just pulled some of the PETG off, I don't know. But there you go, it just comes apart the same. I'm pretty impressed with this. So the PETG printed at 230 degrees instead of the 215. So it's not a lot of difference in terms of its upper melting temperature. But the reason I wanted to put PETG in there at least and not go... So Alan has offered to, Alan K here on chat, he's offered to make me a metal version of this or something like it that I can put in there. I'm a wizard. Why am I a wizard? I didn't print it. My printer printed it. So print just see how the support removal goes on my printer. Yeah, I'm happy to share. See, there's a couple of these supports that just didn't fall off. They're falling off now. And I just pull them off. They're coming off cleanly. But again, this is PETG. It's a totally different material. Yeah, that's come off nice and clean now. So there's a few extra bits. So the difference really between PETG and PLA is, I'll go back to the chat in a second, is this doesn't warp at mild temperatures where PLA does. Like, there's videos of people leaving PLA in a car and it warps and distorts. Well, this won't do that. This basically will stay solid and strong all the way up to its melting point again. PETG is basically the new ABS. It's like 90% as strong as ABS, but it prints almost as good as PLA. There's also another PLA that I found out about yesterday, which I could have used. And yeah, the PLA, is it PLA Plus? I think it is. Greg? Or no, it's something else. What you can do is you print it with it, and then you can put it in like a curing machine, like a heat, like things you use you dry out food with. And if you let it sit there for like half an hour at 70 degrees, it cures it and it stops it from warping and melting at low temperatures. So that's an interesting thing, but I didn't have any way of curing it. And I wanted to print with PETG, and now I have, and it printed really well. So I'm going to do a transplant. So again, I was going to try to do the transplant on video today, but I can't because I don't have my webcam. My DLSR isn't set up for it. So what am I missing, chat? So guessing, yep, nice color. What slicer do you use? Yeah, I'm using the Prusa slicer. I just used the straight up PETG settings and printed it. I still don't know why I'm a wizard, but anyway, yeah, I will definitely share my STL. Colin, do a lot of printing, it works really well. Been doubling in color. Okay, yeah, this is my first PETG. So PETG from me is like $10 more real. I don't really do a lot of printing that needs heavy duty. Oh, one of these didn't come through. Give me a little screwdriver. It's definitely not coming off as cleanly as the PLA did, but it's definitely coming off. Need to get these holes out, I should say. Okay, so this hole, oh no, it came through. I was going to say it fused, but it didn't fuse. No, okay. So these holes didn't fall out as easily as the other one did. They just get pushed out though. I can do it. Okay, cool, all good. Hey Andy. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'll swap that out today sometime, and I'll do some more tests and let you know how it goes. Now there's one other thing I just want to talk about my oven. I just want to clean this off. Get it all off the table. Come on, mess. I'm going to put it in the bin now straight away instead of on my floor. Okay, so there's one other thing I want to talk about with my oven, because a few people brought up it's kind of important. I got myself some of these yesterday. Let's see if we can get this in focus. Okay, these are, that might mean the Indigo 3D 860, I think you're supposed to cure. Wow, you know way more about filaments than I do, seriously. My life has revolved around standard PLA, and now it's going to be PETG for a bit. Well, now it's going to be both, because I've got both. I don't know, I don't really feel like experimenting much with different filaments. I don't know, I don't print that much. The stuff I normally print PLA is fine for. So I got myself polycarbonate bolts. So these are M3, 25mm. These are not cheap, but they're polycarbonate, and polycarbonate bolts, they, let's pull one out. They are heat resistive and electrically resistive. Try that again. They don't conduct a current, and they don't conduct heat. Everyone see that? Hopefully. So I'm going to swap out the bolts that are on the inside of the oven, the one that goes from the PLA to the actual oven wall on the inside, not the fan side. They're fine. With these, to make sure that I'm not transferring heat across the bolt directly onto the PLA or now the PETG. So I bought a bunch of these. I think this was $8 or $9 for 25 bolts. And I'm just going to use the metal nuts on the other end because that's fine. So hopefully these will improve any transfer or remove any transfer of heat, because a few people brought that up as well. And basically what what I did in my video was everything I had at the day. Cool. Okay, so that's the 3D printing out of the way. Coffee time. I don't know what it's heat resistant up to. So this is a brand of the company I bought it from locally, and they obviously rebrand these, but these are bought from someplace in China with no specific specs. But if you look online about polycarbonate bolts and polycarbonate, just material in general, everyone just turns around and makes comments like it's got a very high temperature resistance. Hey, Electronics. And hello, LGB Kai, if I haven't said hello. So I don't know, but it's got to be higher than metal, right? Like any reduction in heat transfer is better than no reduction, is my theory. And I still kind of feel like my toaster oven is a temporary project. So, like, it's something I'm going to use, but it's like at some point I'm getting myself something better if I'm doing more boards. Okay. I need to, sorry. I was hoping I wouldn't have to, but I need to bring my tissue box over still. And I'm going to mute my sound for a second. Because apparently I didn't mute my sound when I was blowing my nose last week, and a few people brought that up. Yeah, apparently it picked up the sound all the way from the other side of the room, which was, I'm sorry about that. Why not print the bolts in PETG? Because I don't want to start playing around with precision of bolts and stuff, and all the holes I've made are M3 size, and I don't know if I'll be able to. Oh, you've already looked it up. 212. There you go. 212 Fahrenheit. Oh, what's? Someone who knows maths can convert that for me. I'm not going to do that. So, there's an EPC film, which is polycarbonate. Yeah, I saw the EPC. So this is eSun, by the way. This brand filament is eSun. The my PETG. Where did I put the box? Should have mentioned. It's the first time I've been using eSun. Oh. And yeah, so that's what I got. The problem is all the other materials. This is so expensive, and I don't have a particular need for them. So it's 100 degrees. Okay. Cool. Thanks, Andy. Okay, so you've all been dying to wait to find out. So in my my Scope Sundays video that I was doing the other day, make a chimney out of aluminium. No need to worry about bolts. I don't want a chimney sticking out of my oven, Alan. I'm trying to make it look like it's never been touched. I'm a bit of I'm a bit finicky when it comes to that. That's why I haven't hung any tool racks on my walls. I like things minimalistic without things sticking out of them. So the other day when I was playing with my probe, with my scope and my probes, okay, there's two things I need to talk about. One of them was the fact that I was just willy-nilly sticking my probes for my scope all over the boards to see what happened, without much thought for stuff like electronic resonance and things like that. And I've done a bit of research into that since, and sure, you can definitely do damage to ICs doing stuff like that. So, but I did the same thing to my feather board and didn't have a problem with it. So I don't think it was that specifically, although that was a little bit maybe silly of just, I wonder what this does, I wonder what that does. So, but the other thing is that it's become apparent is that my desktop power supply is a cheap piece of rubbish eBay. Yeah. So, chimney comes out the magic smoke. Yeah. That's the other thing. I don't really want a chimney pushing out flux to fill my office with flux. I mean, I guess it's going to kind of come out anyway, but I don't want Did I see the latest case for an ESP? No, I haven't. Sorry, Stephen. I haven't looked at. It's my early morning here, remember? I haven't looked at Instagram since yesterday, probably lunchtime. I'll have a look after the stream. Or maybe during the stream later, I'll have a look. So my DC power supply has pretty much no noise filtering on the output of it. So a lot of the rubbish that I was seeing on the screen on my scope, which everyone was saying was electromagnetic interference and stuff, which it was because of my DC power supply. So when I was plugging just my USB brick to power my feather, or a LiPo battery to power the feather, and I was probing my crystals, it was a perfect waveform. No glitchy, nothing. Perfect. But if I used my DC power supply to power the feather at the time and tried to get a reading on anything, it was complete distortion. Couldn't trigger it. It wasn't a triggering issue. I know a few people said I need to learn how to use the triggering better. It was not a triggering issue because the triggering was set up fine, and if I powered it any other way, it was perfectly fine. And so Alan K came over yesterday, day before, whenever it was, and he brought a whole bunch of different caps, and we were playing with putting caps and resistors at the output of my power supply to see if we could reduce it. And although we managed to reduce it by a lot, it's still the most unfiltered, disgusting output from a power supply ever. So I'm never touching that power supply again. But what I did though, while I was doing stuff on the Sunday, was I connected the 5-volt power to the 5-volt pin. So I tried powering it not from the USB and not from the 2.1mm jack. I just, as I normally do with a board, and as you should be able to do, I just connected ground and 5 volts to the 5-volt and ground pin, which you can't really see on my board because the labels are impossible to read, and I fixed that on my next revision of the board. But just here, that's 5 volts and that's ground. Now, I might have made a rookie mistake on this board. I was never intending to power this board through those pins, right? There was always going to be powered through the jack. So so on the 5 volts coming in, it goes straight past the PTC, past the fuse, and straight to the 3.3 volt regulator. You can see there's a big trace just there. So that was probably a bad idea, just in general. Like, again, for me, I was never planning on powering it this way, but I did anyway. In my second revision for this, which I haven't got sent off yet, I've actually changed that, and the 5 volt goes down and back into the power filtering. So if someone does choose to, what it means is if I'm powering it through here, and I'm connecting 5 volts to the line, I need to stick an extra cap in there just to help filter. But otherwise, if you're powering it on the board, it goes through all the filtering like it should. So that's a change I've made to the board anyway. Has to make you a wizard. Oh, hang on. Is Stephen not a wizard? Let me make Stephen a wizard. Can everyone see what I'm doing? Wow, how cool is that? Add moderator. There you go. Stephen is now a wizard for your channel. Cool. Okay. Sorry about that. But either way, whether I got this routing right or wrong, what I did is I connected a really, really bad 5 volt power source, I mean really bad, to this 5 volt pin and powered the board up with it. And that is what has damaged the board, not my scope probing. I'm 100% positive on that, 100%. So what's actually wrong with the board? Well, here's an interesting thing. So I'm just going to put that back down again and get this closer, maybe, so I don't have to hold it. Shazam. That was such a good cartoon. Is that the name of the cartoon? Was it Wonder Twin Powers Activate? No. Wonder Twins? No. Shazam. Shazam was a cartoon, yeah. So Alan and I, or Alan did it over the telephone. Poor Alan. Spent an hour with me last night on the phone. Because he's a really nice guy. Let me just pull this out. I'm going to try to do this on stream. Just going to go to Let's start with continuity. So we were trying to debunk this, and it turns out that there's some type of short, but it's an unexplained short right now. So, can everyone, let me just see how close I can get the camera, because I want to be able to point at the board to show you guys what's going on. And if any of you are bored by this, just chat away. All good. All good. So, let's just quickly go over the design, just so everyone understands what's going on. We've got USB 5 volts coming in here, and we've got a 5 volt 2.1, or we've got a 2.1 millimeter jack. It's designed for 5 volt here. The USB goes into this left Schottky diode, whatever. The 2.1 goes into this right Schottky diode, and both of them go into a 430k resistor, which is just here. Hope everyone can see this. Then from the 430k resistor, it goes into a 10 microfarad cap, then goes into a 0.1 microfarad cap, then goes into this PTC and out to this resistor, which is just the enable resistor on this 3.3 volt regulator, this LDO. Okay? And then 3.3 volts comes out from there. And of course, I've got the, after the PTC, I've got 5 volts going out that pin. That really should be an out, not an in. So that's how all this works. Do you need a jumper? No, I don't need a jumper for that because they've both got the Schottky diodes. You can both have them plugged in at the same time. And technically, you know, if there's too much current coming through, the fuse will blow. Otherwise, it should just be fine. I have had them both plugged in before, and I'm getting 5 volts through all of this and 3.3 volts through here, and it was fine. Totally fine. And I did it that way. I did it jumperless so that way people could accidentally plug them both in and not blow it up. That's why I've got both Schottky diodes sitting there like that. So that's how it's supposed to work. The problem I've got is between the PTC, I'll call it between the PTC, but this is obviously not grounded. But between the PTC, so between this cap here and this resistor, so if we draw a line down the whole board, this whole side of the board is shorted, and this whole side of the board isn't shorted. But I can't find visually any shorts anywhere. So for example, I'm in continuity mode. Hope everyone can hear that. Okay, so if doesn't really, I'm just continuity, it doesn't matter which pin's on which. If I touch ground and 5 volts, as you can hear, ta-da, shorted. If I touch, I'm just going to move the scope out of the way just for a second. That's scope. The multimeter out of the way. If I touch both sides of the cap, this cap, resistor, both sides of the Schottky, as you can hear, there's a short. Absolutely a short. But if I touch this, either side of this resistor, nothing. Either side of these, oops. Oh, interesting. Got a short over here too. Maybe I lied. But not this one. Maybe all the caps are blown. So we're thinking that maybe we just got some cracked caps, right? That would explain a short. But visually I can't see anything. The other thing that's interesting is if I go into my measuring resistance mode, does that happen on the bare PCB? No, it doesn't. I'll grab a PCB, or I don't think it does. It sucks if it does, because that would be leading me in a wild goose chase. I'll go grab a PCB and check it in a second. If I put my, this is going to be hard to do on screen, but if I put my probe on this 100k resistor, it's not bad, almost 100k, 98.1. I don't know if that's within tolerance or not. I wouldn't think so, but anyway, that's working fine. If I stick it on this resistor, which is a 430k, getting nothing, get 8 ohms or 9 ohms. So I'm getting 9 ohms everywhere on the board, just generally. Now, obviously, if I've only got 9 ohms at this point, and I plug a 5 volts in, I'm going to have a lot of current coming in, and it's going to blow the board, or it's going to do something to the board. It's definitely going to do some damage. So this resistor is absolutely not working, or a short is causing it to not work. Let me go grab a board. That's a very good point, David. I will try a board. This is why I wanted to do this live today, because there's a lot smarter people out there than me. Let me tell you, I'm new to all this. I have no idea what I'm doing. This is my board. If one can see it. It's a bit shiny, it's a bit reflective. Stop the camera shake. Sorry for anyone that's epileptic. Let's get this in focus. Okay, so late to the party. Hi, Mindful Retro. Good morning. I figured I'd just dive into the sea of moderators. Have you already figured it out, or can we guess? No, I haven't figured it out. You can absolutely guess. My plan this morning was to start removing all the passives and replacing them bit by bit, and seeing if I was hoping that maybe just one of the caps was cracked underneath or something. Okay. Continuity. Hope you guys can hear that. Check your ground plane isolation tolerances. Is that English? Teletronics, did you check your ground plane isolation tolerances? I don't know what that is. Come on, I'm sure you guys. Epileptic. Oh, that makes me seasick. What? Oh, the moving, right? The rocking. Sorry, I got it. I know a lot of you don't believe me, but I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm new to all of this. Like, seriously. I just like taking on challenging projects. Like, why build a 555 circuit when I can build a microcontroller circuit? I still have no idea what I'm doing. Okay, let's have a look at this. So, okay, these two pads are definitely not touching. Not touching. Not touching. Not. Oops. Oh, so these ones are. They're the end of the shotkeys, so of course they're touching. So that's ground. Oops. Doesn't matter what color my probes are, but that's ground. Stay still. Yeah. That's ground, 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 ground. Oops. But they're not yet. No. So there's no short on the board. It's not the board. Well, hey Alan, these are really sharp. I'm scratching off the solder pad. Wow, I'm not sure everyone can see that. Ground plane clearance. How are we doing? Is it possible the USB connectors are reversed so power goes to the ground, which would carry? Okay, just to be sorry, everyone, just to let you know, this board has been working fine. I've been using this board for development for since I put it together. I've built 5 different projects on it. It's all, yeah, I had it. That's right. Wait, I had it working at some point. Yeah. So this all happened on Sunday when I started without any expertise at all, sticking power and scope probes onto my boards. Okay, so something happened, and to let you know actually what happens when I plug it in now. So I should show you, and this is what's really bizarre. Okay, let me keep going because you guys need more information. Now it's not the PCB. When you say my ground plane tolerances, are you talking about tolerances between ground and any other traces? If that's what you're talking about, because if that's the case, I'm well within tolerances. I'm about, I could go at least 2 times thinner than what I'm doing, if that's what you mean. I'm using exactly the same tolerances on this as I've used on every other board I've made. I've never had a problem. I've actually done some damage somehow with the power supply. It's not a board design or construction thing. I promise you it's not. So let me go grab my power supply because this is kind of important. So when I say the board is fried, the board turns on. Let me just plug it in. Plug it in. Oh, is that going to be able to? Let me get my breadboard just to hold it still. Okay. I'm going to power it up, and look at that. Little light comes on. The board turns on. Okay. Well, my isolation, I believe, is fine, Tabletronics. I'm pretty... Like all the PCB fab houses have minimum tolerances, right? And I use SparkFun design rules, which is pretty lenient on some things, but pretty strict on others. And their minimum, like for instance, I don't do 6mm traces. The smallest traces I do normally are 8, but all my traces are currently 10. The smallest traces I do. So and then also therefore all of the gaps between them are not the minimum gaps, but the one level up from the minimum that what SparkFun allow, which is 2 levels up from what the fab houses allow. So I personally believe that the tolerances here could go much smaller, and I'd still be fine. I don't know. I'd have to look into the shotkeys. Let me just continue because I don't want to keep this powered on for too long. So what happens is the ESP32 module gets quite hot. It's warming up quite a lot now, and the FTDI gets a little warm, way warmer than it should. Comparatively, if I power this one up and let it sit there for 10 minutes, it gets nowhere near. Yeah, so the regulator, so let me just go back to go to DC, not back to, but DC. Do you guys want to see the reading on the meter, or will you trust me that I actually say what it is? Oh, you have to trust me for now. So if I ground this and I look at my regulator, I'm getting 3.42 volts. Awesome. If I ground this and I look at the input to the regulator, I'm getting 4.36, which is a little under 5, but that's okay. It's going through. I'm getting a voltage drop across the diode. So if I go before the diode, right, I'm getting 4.98, 4.92 off the USB. On the other side of the Schottky, I'm getting 4.62. So I've got a voltage drop across the Schottky diode. But, so I'm getting 5 volts on the left-hand side and 3.3 volts on the right-hand side. If I check pin 12, or no, pin 15 on the FTDI, well, shit, I hope I didn't short that then. That looked like I might have just shorted something. Oh man, don't do this on video. Can't find it. There it is. I got 5 volts on the VCC line. Yeah, if it's to do with main voltage, don't trust Xeon. And if I click over here, this one over here is, I know for a fact, is 3.3. I can touch it. Come on. It was 3.3. One of you is 3.3. Oh, the third one, sorry. I'm getting 3.3 volts. So, power-wise, everything looks fine. I've damaged something. Clearly I've damaged something. Okay, that is getting way warmer than it should be. Like, I can hold my finger on it, but it's quite warm. Too warm. If I switch fingers, that's not as warm as we were getting the other day. So it looks fine. The problem is, if I plug it into my computer, it doesn't appear. So the FTDI chip is probably screwed. And if there is a short there, that could maybe potentially explain what's going on. So I'm quite happy to do surgery on this board, and I'm quite happy to do it live. The question is, where do I start, right? My plan this morning was to pull some passives off and try those, but that was before I realized that there was a continuity issue down here as well on the right-hand side. I thought it was only limited to the left-hand side. So I'm just going to unplug this for now. So I was going to, my plan was to pull off these caps and the resistor and put new ones back on again. I've actually got them, everything ready to go here, but that's probably not going to work. Right, so it can't be the regulator because the regulator is working fine. Pull the ESP. ESP getting too warm. Voltage pin measure. I don't know. I don't have that hooked up. I don't. Doesn't the voltage pin on the ESP have to go through a voltage divider? to be able to work out what that is? Or is that for the VBAT one? I'm getting, okay, so just so you know, I'm getting, this is the, one of those two up top there is 3.3 volts. I'm getting 3.3 volts out of that. It's working fine. So I'm getting 3.3 volts comes in around here on the ESP32, and I'm getting it out there. Right, so I was going to look at it with the scope, but of course you guys can't see the scope, which is, so that's a bit of a pain. As I said, I wanted to try to get an extra camera set up. But what I can do is this. Let's do this. Bye-bye, Sion's ugly mug. Let's see how this works. I jerry-rigged a really bad clamp that I could potentially put my webcam on. Look at that. The ESP could have a pin shorted. The FTDI could have a pin shorted. Getting the ESP off is going to be extremely difficult, obviously, because of the size of the package. Hot airing it off is going to be just hard. Getting the FTDI chip off will be easier. Getting one back on again will be a little bit maybe difficult. Right, so the only ones that I can feel that are getting hot are the ESP32 and the FTDI. Ultimately, though, I have to be honest. I'm not necessarily trying to fix this board. I'd love to know what's wrong with it. But at the end of the day, I don't want to put new parts on this board and potentially destroy them if it's not the parts that I'm swapping that's the problem. I'd rather just build a new board. But I'd still like to know what's wrong with this board. So this board is pulling, if I just plug this back in again and turn this on, get out my, everyone can see, this board is pulling, it's 5 volts and 0.52 amps, which to me feels a little high. So that's the reason why, if I just unplug this, I brought this board over, because I want to, now obviously it's a different design, it's using a different serial chip, it's got different components on it for sure, but I wanted to plug this one in and see what this one is doing. If I power this one on, is it on? Fortunately, this doesn't have any LEDs on it to let me know if it's on or not. There's no charge light. So this says it's pulling 0.2 amp, which is kind of weird. That's a little bit low for my liking. I have no idea what's on this board though, code-wise. I could probably put something on it and make it do something and then try that. But I'd say the current draw on my ESP is way higher than it should be. But I have no idea what code's on there, to be honest with you. That actually could be running the reflow code. You'd expect a semiconductor failure rather than a passive component, especially if nothing visual. Sure, I would, and I would hope it's not the ESP module, and I would hope it's the FTDI, because that's going to be the easiest one to get off. So let's turn the scope on. I don't know if you'll be able to, how well you'll be able to see it with the reflection. Actually, I need that over here. And as I said, this is not a great webcam. I can't focus it. It's going to autofocus. This might work. Let me know how it's going. Oh, now my coffee's cold. Okay, so I'm going to try to. I'm just going to pull out a bit so you guys can see what I'm doing and focus. So hopefully you'll be able to see this at the same time. So I'm just going to pull the end off. I'm currently at. Oh, that's a bit small. I'll do an auto one in a second, but that's it. Let's see if we can get it to. Okay, I'm at 500 millivolt steps. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that. I'm sorry. I apologise. As I said, hang on, maybe I'll see if I can get this bigger. so you can see it better. Might not help. I'll do my best. Hopefully that's better. No cold coffee. Stop the show. It's not perfectly cold yet, but it's... I never finish my coffee. Can someone send me a coffee? I'll post my address. No, actually, no, I won't. So, how do I power it, right? Let's plug the power in. I'm powering off battery, so I can check what's going on. So we can get it all on the screen at once, so you can see it all. Okay, if I... Oh, come on, cables, get out of the way. Twisty, twisty. Okay, so if I ground that, we'll look at the 3.3 volts straight off the regulator. It's a bit hard to see. I need to... I need an extra hand. Can someone give me a hand? I need to be able to push the button, the auto reset button. Okay, how? Good old auto reset. Put it in the oven. You need one of those cup warmers. It's an awesome breadboard. That is an awesome breadboard. Yes, 520 milliamps is way too high, as I said, and that's because there's a short. So it's just pulling current. I'm really struggling to use the scope and do this on video at the same time. So that's not looking great. I'm trying to get the biggest waveform I can without using the auto. So that's my 3.3 volts, which does not look nice at all, I guess. That should be a straight line. If I look at my 5 volts, it's quite noisy, 5 volts. But that's before filtering. If I look at after filtering, still looks a bit noisy. I need to get it better, bigger, with the camera in the way. My 5 volts. My 3.3 volts, which is not looking good. It should just be a straight line. Just drop my trigger up. Yeah, so I don't know what that dropping is. Meanwhile, these are warming up. I'm going to unplug that. So, there's a short for sure, and it's definitely pulling too much current, and it's definitely warming up the chips, which is not good. So the question comes down to, what do I do about it? Perhaps the ESP is in a power up. Possibly, maybe. I should still see, if that was the case, I'd see the FTDI on my computer still. Like I'd see that as a on the Mac as a USB. I think it comes up as a modem, USB modem. So I'm not even able to see the FTDI. Just going to mute for a second, folks. That was definitely not something you guys wanted to hear, for sure. So, as I said, I'm quite happy to hot air stuff off and do it live and see what happens. I still don't understand where the short could. I mean, there could be a short in the FTDI somewhere, obviously, but the power coming through seems fine. So I would have thought that I would be getting weird, like I wouldn't be getting 3.3 out of the 3.3 pin and 5 out of the 5 pin on the FTDI if the FTDI was shorted with your multimeter. DC 0 ohms or a value. Let's find out. I'm pretty sure I'm seeing, I'm not seeing 0, I'm seeing that same 8 ohms. So I'm pretty much seeing 8 ohms every, let me, yes. Okay, so if I just look at, for instance, this cap right here, I'm getting this, whatever, 8 ohms, okay, 9 ohms. It doesn't matter which component I'm touching. If I just go ground and 5 volts, I know it's backwards with a pin, I'm still getting the same 8 ohms. So I've just got this consistent 8 ohms, David. Anywhere that I'm touching, whether it's a passive or, anywhere I'm going ground to something. I don't think it's a problem with the cap since the problem occurred after he was probing around. No, it wasn't a probing. It was a power supply. Anton? The issue was caused by, I'm convinced the issue was caused by me plugging my very bad 5 volt power supply into the 5 volt pin here and powering the board from a really badly noisy power supply. It wasn't a probing issue. It was a powering issue. I've damaged something by having massively noisy 5 volts coming. Might find the short with resistance measurement. Try measuring resistance between the probes. Definitely lower than 8 ohms, Leo. Yeah, the 9 ohms is displaying the 500 milliamp draw for sure. Cool, sorry, Anton, it's fine. Yeah, I did mention it earlier. So, yeah, 2 things happened at the time when I was playing with my scope on this board. I was obviously just probing stuff, but I was doing that on multiple boards. But this is the only board I tried powering from my power supply. And, yeah, I've already determined with Alan's help, who, as I said, who came over, that the power supply is, I'm not turning it on ever again. I'm going to chuck in the bin. I'm going to buy a better power supply. Probe the cap and it was 9-inch clue. You probe the ground pin. I mean, it's a short because it's definitely, I'm getting, yeah, like if I'm getting the same on this side now on this cap. But interestingly, this resistor is working fine. I'm getting 100k on this resistor. And that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Unless there's a short here down and a short here on the left. On either side of that resistor. But that's the only other resistor I've got, I think, on the board right now. Well, actually, no. These should be 10k. Or are they 1k? Let me just, they're 1Ks, right, okay, that's fine. So these are the only other 2 resistors I have on the board that are grounded, that go to ground, that pull down. And these are both reading 1K. So these 2 resistors are fine. They're on the TX and RX lines. So they're reading fine. This 100k resistors reading fine. Sorry, it's really far away. Sorry. But this resistor here, which is 430k, is reading 9 ohms. That's why I thought I might swap those out. How did it stop working? Well, it didn't stop working. I didn't even know. You want to see the schematic? I don't have a... I could probably make a schematic that I can print out, maybe. I didn't know it stopped working. I just went to plug it in yesterday or the day before to use it, and it wasn't appearing on my computer. So I plugged it into another computer, and it wasn't appearing. So my first giveaway, because the power light comes on, the 3.3 volt power light comes on. So I just wanted to use it for something, and it wasn't appearing, and I couldn't work it out. And then I just happened to touch the board, and I realized how hot it was, and that's where this whole process started. So I didn't even know I did anything bad to it on the Sunday. Schematic. I wish I had Eagle on this machine. I don't have Eagle on this machine. Otherwise, I could load it up and show it to you guys. I'm not going to install Eagle right now. I have to put it on. Let me think what I can do. You guys want me to quickly make a schematic that you can see? Is it? Can I actually load it? I might be able to load an image. Okay. I don't even know how I do this. I think a schematic might be too tricky right now, folks. If I could think of a way of showing you a schematic that isn't just a... Because the problem is, if I export an image of the schematic, it's going to be so small, you're not going to be able to see it. I need something I can zoom in and out of. I'll definitely get Eagle set up on this machine for the future. So I guess the question is, where to from here? I mean, I'm happy to start ripping things off the board, but at $10 an FTDI chip, I don't particularly want to replace it. I don't even know how I could draw it with simple boxes. Well, tell me, what do you want to know about the schematic? Like, I can explain to you what, like, okay, just bear with me a second. I'm gonna just so you know that haven't left the country. Let me just put this back up here, so you can. That's not good. Let's see if I can. Okay, I'm just gonna go to my computer over there, and see if I can quickly get you a Had to replace the shot key. Hey, Stephen. Welcome. Give me a second, folks. Let me see what I can export. Hopefully you can hear me. The problem with having a nice big office is everything's really far away. I'm going to try to make an image of this that I can load up, hopefully. I'll try it. I don't know how readable it's going to be. Okay, I took a screenshot of the schematic. I'm going to see if I can load it into here. I'll try my best. Apparently I can load an image. File, browse. I'm doing this on OBS, so apparently I can load an image in OBS. Eagle CAD. And my project. Open. Wow. Okay, can everyone see that? You wanted a schematic. Okay, I'm just trying to make it fit on the screen. I know it's going to be kind of small. So this stuff here on the right is just the auto reset, so we don't need that. Can everyone see that? I think they pull. Do any of these buttons short to ground when pressed? Well, they go to ground. They're pull-ups. They're pulled up already, so yeah, they go to ground. They're supposed to go to ground when pressed. They're supposed to go to the low state. Is that readable for everyone? I'm just turning the scope off. A bit noisy. Hey, Alan, if you're still here, I cleaned up this the power part of the schematic. I moved that resistor over for you because I know that you were, freaking out about having a resistor on the left. I'm hoping we're still online. I'm hoping people are just looking at the schematic because it's gone quiet. While everyone's studying that, I'm just gonna, surf the net. Cool, readable, great. Oh, David uploaded a video. Maybe I'll just sit and watch Dave's video while you guys are reading my schematic. Sounds like a really cool project, David. Oh, by the way, for those of you, while you're all listening, because I'm sure you're all just riveted to my conversation, for those of you that haven't seen David's video, this is not a plug for me, but he uploaded a video putting together one of my Neo 7 segment boards. He did it by hand. I thought it couldn't be done. He did it by hand. He's a champion. Anyone that ever says that David's a crappy solderer, not even a word, that he's really bad with his iron, he's an absolute legend with an iron. Let me tell you. He's, yeah. No one should ever doubt the Watt's soldering capabilities. He did it by hand, and he didn't even melt any of them. He had a bung pixel in the process, and who knows why that was. But David's been elevated to legendary status. Wow, it's gone quiet. Oh, my cameras are off, so I'm just going to start dancing around my office. Cool. Saw it. It was cool. He's a solid master. Yes. Yes, he is. He did a great job. Hey, Brian. Evening. Yeah, I mean, a little bit of me wanted to watch him fail and destroy it, because that's what's fun watching David sometimes. But no, he did a spectacular job. Really, really good. IPC JSTD1 Class 3. You fixed your hand soldered one? What was wrong with it, Chris? What was it? So you also got it one hand soldered and working. Well done. So both of you, legends. I'd never do it by hand. But that's just me. What is Stephen, what's that? What are you asking me? PCJ STD 001. Where are we looking? I'm confused. Hey Brian, I know you just joined us, so a few people asked for this schematic of my board, so I did a screenshot and I just placed an image. There's this dismal voice coming out of the schematic diagram. This is all promising for my attempt. Oh, of the hand soldering? Yeah. I don't know why I bothered sending you guys stencils. What a wasted effort that was. Ah, is that a soldering standard? Okay, so I didn't even know there was. Are they soldering qualifications, Stephen? Really? Didn't know that. Yes, Brian's gonna stick his in the oven. That's what I want to hear. Just don't put it in with your muffins. Unless you want to, yeah, coffee. Yes, please, Alan. I'd love a coffee. Just ring the bell. I bought some and replaced the one I cooked. What is that voltage regulator? It's a... Oh, I don't have everything in front of me. It is a... 1 second. I will find it in the box. Somewhere. Diode. It's an AP2112K-3.3 regulator. So AP2112K. So these are the ones, I've used these before on all of my boards. It's 600 milliamp, it's rated for. It's the same ones that Adafruit use pretty much on all their boards, and the same ones that SparkFun use on all their boards. It's a very popular and well... And these are not Chinese hacks either. These are bought from DigiKey. I need to replace the 69 leaded muffins. Stephen didn't get a... didn't get a stencil? There should have been one in one of the packets. I'm pretty sure I sent you a stencil. Every order that's gone out has a stencil on. If I didn't, I can send you one. Oh, there you go, Greg. Thanks. See? Stephen works in aerospace. Oh, cool. So you're a rocket scientist. Maybe. Let me know when you want me to remove the schematic or put my mug back on. I might just put my mug back on the side anyway. Because, you know, I'm still here. Ah! So what did you do on See on Stream today? Oh, we just all sat staring at a schematic. Yes. So honestly, there's nothing... I don't think it's a... check your CD drive, coffee cup holder. I don't have a CD drive. What computers have a CD drive anymore? CDs are so 1980s, dude. Bin was going, which side of the resisting is it? I can't see the B-bus into it. What? I was struggling to see when the in was going on what? On the regulator? Do you want me to zoom in for you? Let me check the other pack, but it'll be hand soldered, so no worries. Can you give me a large quantity of 2-pack etch primer? Okay. Hey Brian, are you there? Brian, you there? Check this out. Oh god, wrong camera. I'm just turning off my image for a second. Hey Brian, look at this. Look at this. Pet G. I printed another one. I bought some Pet G yesterday. No warping. Yay. This is a ruby red. And by the way, the support just fell off again. My first print with it. I didn't even do a test print. Anyway, sorry. Anyone want the schematic back? Are we done with the schematic? I really don't think you're going to find anything on there, but it's not the diagram. It goes to the B-bus, but it's not in the diagram. What is not in the diagram? This we get to legally continue to use proper leaded solder. That was because, Brian, you pointed me to Angus's video about PLA warping in the car for my Vulcan bomber. I thought the in pin would go to B-bus, that's all. It doesn't matter. Since your 3 line is fine. Thank you. Yes, it is a nice 3D print in PETG, my first attempt. I'm going to pull out the PLA from my oven and put the PETG back in instead. And Brian, because you missed it, the other thing is I got some of these. These are polycarbonate bolts. So I'm going to replace the bolts that are inside the oven that goes from the central chamber to the PLA or to the PETG with these ones. They're rated to 100 degrees. They won't. There's no thermal transfer on them. So we're done with the schematic. Yay! No, there's no hidden mistake. I wish there was a hidden mistake. I would gladly put my hand up and go, yep, design flaw. But I will gladly put my hand up and say, I blew it. I've wrecked it with my DC power supply. Trust me, if you look... Alan, let everyone know, will you? If you look at the output coming from my DC power supply, no joke, the filtered version looks like this. You ready? That's what the filtered version looks like. The unfiltered version, yeah, it was seriously terrible, terrible, terrible power supply. Why are we doing deja vu? Because we spoke about this already. Sorry. Seeing on the schematic, DC jack and USB V-bus power in both go through diodes. Yes, they both go through diodes. I can replace the diode. I've got my hot air station waiting. I'm quite happy to replace some stuff. I'm quite happy to replace any passives on this board because they're cheap and I've got lots of them. But I don't ideally want to replace, to be honest with you, I don't want to try to pull this ESP off because I just don't know how I'm going to do it easily without sticking it in the oven and ruining everything. There's just too many pins. I don't know how I'd pull that off. Yes, it looked like scrambled eggs on steroids. I actually had Brian had the video, this webcam here pointing at my scope before. Gotta go catch. See you, Paul. Have a good night. Have a good sleep. No, I was showing the scope before, and I was showing my multimeter before. I just don't want to, like, ideally I don't want to waste $10 on a chip. I can't pull off the ESP. How am I going to pull this off? You want me to, like, literally just get some pliers and pull it off? Kept on tape and flux. I don't have any kept on tape. I got flux. I don't know how I'm going to pull it off. Seriously. I couldn't even imagine how I'd take that off. And there's no way I'm sticking another one on there and destroying a second one just to see that it's not the ESP32. I'd rather just start a new board, to be honest with you, and chuck this in the bin. The problem is, I mean, the ESP modules, they're only like $6 each. It's not the modules, it's not the cost of the modules. It's that they take 4 to 5 weeks to get to me. And I don't want to wreck more of them just to single them out on this particular board. If that makes sense, I don't know. It's not a cop-out, I don't want to destroy more parts to find out. I'd rather, what are you bringing me some? Bringing me what? Some, gotta go as well. See you, Anton. Catch you later. Thank you. Heat gun and flux. Yeah, I've got a heat gun, but flux, but it's too big a chip to take off. I can't heat that whole area. I don't think. I can try. Do you want me to try pulling the ESP32 off? Fine. Is that what we're going to do? Or do we want to start with the smaller components? I can start with the diodes. How many diodes have I got? I really don't think it's the diodes. Schottky diode. They're 130s. It's not 130s, I need 120s. Transistors. So you are Where are my diodes? There's some diodes somewhere, but you already know it's stuffed. Download drops, you have to identify the fault. Well, I don't know if my ESP is stuffed. It could just be that this stuff's not working because of the massive power draw or something. I don't know it's stuffed. That's the thing. Like, I really don't. Voltage drop versus resistance in the circuit. Can't recommend this before. Yeah, the D, was it the Lowland D32s, Brian? That's what I'd be getting if I was buying more ESPs right now, the new version of the board. It's a pretty good board. It's Andreas just did another video where he was showing the current draw. Was it Andreas? No, someone else. Hang on, I'll tell you who just did a video of one. Just 1 second. I'll paste a link to the video. Copy link address. I don't know if you guys are subbed to his channel or not. His name is G6EJD is his channel name, which is bizarre. Anyway, he's talking about the new D32. He does some power. He's got a power chart check, and it's the best power rated board compared to the Fire Beetle. Fire Beetle is still the best. If you don't mind destroying the chip, you can cut the pins with the Dremel or something. Right, but then I can't put the new one back on. Right, I could do that, sure. Okay, I'm just going to... So we're not replacing diodes. We're going to pull the chip off. Yeah. Reposting and then it takes a while to come through. Sorry. It's getting hot though, so we can't do it as high. Okay, so the consensus is I'm going to pull it off. I'm going to pull the... Oops, sorry. Whoops, I've got components everywhere now. So I'm going to pull the FTDI off first, or I'm going to pull the ESP32 off. It's going to be one of them, right? Which one do you want to see first? Which one am I going to destroy first? Should we take a vote? Tweezers. I have my tweezers. We want to get close to see this, right? Because you all want to see me like make an absolute mess of it. Let's make an absolute mess of it. Stop wobbling. Oh, so knocked it again. What was that? Funny to see. That's what she said. It's not enough for me, no brick. No, you want to go the D32. The D32 is the way to go, for sure. Well, it's the only board they make now, and it's the best of both, and it's the best powered version they've got, like in terms of the sleep mode and stuff like that. It's a good board. It would be a reference that I'd be copying if I was going to do it again. So, what am I doing? FTDI or ESP32? ESP. Okay. Hot air gun. You want to see my hot air gun? I'm going to do it. I might need some more light though. So I'm doing, because I can't see. You guys might be able to see, but I can't see. I don't even know how I'm going to... It's too big an area. I might need a smaller tip, a bigger tip. I really don't think I'm going to get this off. Because as I move it away, it's just going to maybe I don't do it on the board. I might not do this. I might do this not on the board, on the breadboard. I don't want to wreck the breadboard. Of course the diodes will be easier. I've been saying that the whole time. But everyone says, take the ESP off. I just don't even know how I'm going to do it. I really don't. Like, I might need something to clamp this board on, but I don't want to melt the breadboard. My money's on a capacitor. Yeah, I gotta say, I'd much rather be checking capacitors right now and diodes. I really would. Shield. Can't shield the other stuff. I've got no capped on, Alan. I can put my hand there. Yeah, I was not expecting to be pulling the ESP off. Yeah, don't melt the breadboard. That's why I pulled it off. Yeah, sorry, doing chat and this at the same time is going to be difficult. Not too late to change your mind, folks. Should I pull some caps off? Do you realize it's going to be impossible to put this back on again if this isn't the issue? Is everyone aware of that? When I say impossible, like not impossible, but... So I keep knocking the camera. This is pretty tight. I can't even see what I'm doing, by the way. Use some metal. I don't have any metal. You've seen my workspace, Alan. Let me just take my tin snippers to my computer and cut the side of my computer case off. I've got an idea. Hang on. 1 second, I'm still leaving that running. Just 1 sec. Happen to have an abundance of this stuff called Viton. How's that? Oh, that's not going to stay. How do I keep this still now? Oh, that's hot. The board's actually quite hot now. That power jack is a real pain. So watch the world burn. Does that have a bottom ground pad? The ESP32, I can't remember. It does indeed, which is going to make it impossible to get off. I don't want to do this, guys. I really don't want to do this. Really? You're saying, oh God, to me, Alan, whose idea was the Viton in the first place? It's better than metal. I'm not going to be able to get this off, you know. Not going to be able to get this off. I'm going to absolutely wreck it. I'm doing it slowly. Yeah, I'm going to destroy this. This ESP is going to get destroyed. Can we try something else? I think you're wasting your time. Yes, why? I agree I'm wasting my time. I'm going to change my mind. I'm vetoing everyone. I'm going to destroy the ESP, getting it off, and probably damage the board in the process and be no closer to knowing what's going on. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to come off that damage. Yeah, I agree. So, where do you want me to start? Hot. That's hot. Move on if you want. I'm going to move on. Yeah. So, diodes or caps? Diodes or caps? I'm just standing here with a hot air gun, blowing hot air. That's cool. Keep myself warm. Oh, nice. Cool. The only other problem is I don't know where to start. If I diodes, which, okay. I just don't know which diodes. Both of them? You want me to replace both of them? Coffee and a nanonap. But the question, I don't understand how the diodes could be causing a short. Like, let's talk about the diodes first. Like yeah, I'm going to take some caps off. The diodes are not grounded. I don't understand how that could be causing a short. Oh boy, I really need my microscope. So which ones am I taking off? I'm going to take off the ones on the power side before the 3.3 regulators. I'm going to take off those two caps and that resistor. Well, I'll take the caps off first. Right, that's right. If a diode's going to break like a fuse, it's just going to it's just going to let anything come through, or nothing come through. But it's not going to cause a short, not to ground. So I doubt it's the diodes. Well, I see movement. Just a little bit. Really appreciate some magnifying glasses right now. Hello. Let me know when we're having fun. What provoked this fall in the thing in the first place? I was playing with my scope on the weekend, and I was powering this board with my DC desktop power supply, benchtop power supply. As it turns out, it's a really, really, really bad power supply, and I have done something to this board by powering it through the 5-volt pin on the board. And I've done something to the board. So it wasn't a scope issue, probing issue, it was definitely a power supply issue. Why is this not melting? I feel like, I'm at 240 degrees, and this is a low temp solder paste. And I feel like this should have melted by now. What is going on? Unless it's melted, I just can't see it. But just wow. The unexpected maker, the unexpected burn your house down guy. I wonder if my hot air gun's not getting up to temperature. That should have melted by now. Oh, they are. They're sitting here melted the whole time. I just can't see because I'm not close enough. What an idiot. Anyone want to put their hand up and say, sounds an idiot? Okay. The problem is I can't see if that's shorted itself at all. Yeah, they're loose. Yeah, I can't see from this angle. I'm quite far away from the board, believe it or not. The problem I've got now is I can't see. I might need to get some... I don't have any... Whoops. Don't hit the camera with it. Okay, I'm just going to put my hot air gun down. Hopefully it'll turn off. I can't see. I need to get my magnifying glass. Sorry, folks. Yeah, I definitely connected after. I always have my power supply on first. But the noise in the power supply was really bad. Like, really, really bad. Okay, so there's a bridge there, but that's on the ground side. I'm not sure if you guys can see. Oh, wow, that's bright. Let me see if I can do that for you so you can see. Probably not. Right, so there's a bridge there on the left-hand side, but they're the ground plane. The right-hand side is not bridged. So let's have a look at this. Let's check continuity on this, shall we? Told me what. Try to see if they're loose. Yeah, so just to let you know, I'm about that far away from the board when I was working then. I just couldn't see. I'm normally much closer, or I normally use a magnifying glass. So I apologise for that. So, continuity. Okay, let's check these now. It's going to be super hot. Okay, still shorted. So it's not those two caps. Okay, try shot kit. Just Shake is going to stay on that diode forever. The problem is if I pull the diode... Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm not convinced about the diodes. Not yet, still. Okay, what's next? Take the resistor off. I mean, the resistor's not going to fail. I mean, there's more caps on here. Could be lots of different caps. Pull the caps off this side. The 3.3 side. I'm going to pull the caps off the 3.3 side. This time, though, I might change my glasses to ones where I can actually... I've got some magnifying glasses. The problem is I can't see anything else when I'm wearing them. Okay, I'm going to pull these other caps off. So I can't see chat right now, folks, guys, because I'm pretty much blind. I'm going to pull these caps off now. So these two I'm looking at right now, which are these ones just here, they're the power filtering coming out of the 3.3 volt regulator. What's the time? If I squint, I can kind of see. Is that 8:30? Wow. We've been going an hour and a half. And I'm only just pulling passives off now. That's terrible. Did anyone watch Julian's stream the other day? He did actually quite a cool stream. I really enjoyed it. He actually turned the camera around to face him for a lot of it when he was just chatting with people. It was really nice. Like I felt like not hiding, but like I feel like Julian hides behind the camera a lot. Not because he's afraid or anything, but it was nice to have a chat with him and make and actually see him, which is really cool. I don't know, it's kind of bizarre. I totally get that some people just don't like being on camera and stuff, but it's nice to be able to not just put a face to the voice, but actually see the face talking. Okay, 1, 2. Don't think they're shorted at all. Put my hot air gun down. Switch my glasses. Okay. Is that turning off? Looks like it might be, hopefully. Okay, back to continuity again. Okay. Still short. It's not those two caps. Okay. What's next? What are we pulling off next? Rail. What's rail mean? I have a face for radio. Chris. Haha. Looks like the rail is working, but maybe pull the regulator as well. Yeah, I'll pull the regulator. Let's pull the regulator. Got a few of those. Could replace it. No, I didn't switch my glasses. Sorry about my sniffling, guys. Sorry, I need to maybe take a break in a minute and mute again. I think my tablets are wearing off. Off comes the regulator. Regulators, mount up. That was a good song. There's regulator, likely one. Yeah, regulator's going off. Regulator's working, but yeah. But that's an easy one. We expect ceramic SM caps to fail as mechanically stressed. I don't know. I'm pretty sure if you ask my wife, she would class herself as mechanically stressed because of me. So you never know. I might have that effect on a ceramic cap as well. Oh, I can hear my kids are about to go to school. They should isolate different sections to test. Yeah. Why is that not moving? Okay. Off. Off with their heads! Okay. Regulator's off. Let me just check that there's no short there. I don't know if you'll be able to see. I don't know if I can see. I'm trying to check a short on a camera. It's ridiculous. That looks pretty good. Those pins there, no shorts. Okay, here we go again. I keep turning my meter off. Anyway, so look at that. No noise. No noise. We have. Make sure this is working. Yep. Looks like it was the regulator. Well, at least the regulator. Let me just check now. If I go back to resistance, I just want to check this resistor again. This resistor is now reading. Yeah, that's not right. I think this resistor is still screwed. Is it possible to damage a resistor? This resistor is reading 1.9 kilo ohms and should be 430. So could that resistor have been, check the output of the regulator lines now. What do you mean by the output? How do I, they're not connected, so how would I check the output? If I plug power in, I could check 5 volts coming into it, but I can't check anything coming out of it because they're not connected. I'm just going to mute the sound again for a second, folks. Sorry. Back. They normally go open. What? It's cryptic, Alan. I don't understand, Brian. For information, I fixed my 2 fake Lowland light boards by replacing. What? This is across out pins. Oh, on the actual regulator. You want me to check the regulator itself? Why would I do that? Is everyone sneezing? Is everyone giving me sneezing emoticon? Is that what they are? I'm just going to put a new regulator on. Do you want me to put a new regulator on? Do I even want to check the old regulator? I don't know what I'm going to achieve by checking the old regulator. I can't even see it. Hang on. So what do you want me to check? Measure between the 3.3 volt and ground with resistance. Okay. That's going to be ground and the ground and 3.3. I'm pretty sure that's 3.3. Middle one is ground. I'm getting about 200 ohm, it says, on the board, not... What? Okay. I have no idea what you're talking about. Ground. Okay, that's 3.3. And that's ground. I'm getting about just under 8 ohms. Assuming I'm touching the right pin. Hang on. Come on, stay still. Yeah, about 8 ohms. Yeah, I'm going to throw a new regulator on. I'm going to do it. I'm going to find one. Regulator. Lucky I have a lot of them. Okay, move the other one away so I don't confuse them. Okay, so I'm going to hot air it back on again. This should be fun, because there should be enough solder there to hot air it back on. So that's what I'm going to do. Can everyone see? This should be fun. Oh, it's blowing away. Yeah, so I might have to heat the pads and then do it. I don't know how I'm going to do this. 8 ohms is too low. Well, okay, so what are you telling me? That this might not be the problem? Too many regulations? Alan, speak up. If 8 ohms is too low, what are you telling me? I'm going to put the regulator back on and it's going to be a problem again? I'm happy to waste a regulator to find out, but you know, I'm going to waste a regulator to find out. That's fine. Flying the watts to hand sort of. What? Are we talking about ovens, toaster ovens? We should have fluxed it first. Oh no, flux won't help because it's going to evaporate before I even get this on. I can't see if this paste is gone. I should have swapped my glasses. Yeah, no. Close, but no cigar. So I'm trying to do this without having to solder it back on by hand. It's not working. I might have to actually hand solder it on. Nope, just solder on the regulator. What? Still a load on the 3.3 volt line. So what should be... I'm confused. I might have to actually hand solder that on. Need to get 50 pounds on now, so I need to... nope. To solder on the regulator. What? I'm confused by all this. So there. So Alan, you're suggesting I don't put the regulator back on? Is that what you're telling me? You're telling me that there's still a problem? There might well be a problem, but I really can't see. I need to pick up the board for a second. Sorry, folks. I tried doing a video of my repeated show before, which you fixed. You know what I mean? Trying to make a video. You should have done it, Greg. Do it. Videos. Okay. I'll still draw 400 milliamps on 313. Check passives on that line before you put anything back on. Right. Well, I've taken the two caps off. And there are the only other passives on that line. This is a pull-up resistor, pull-up resistor. I've got a filtering cap here. Not a filtering, yeah. I mean, there's lots of other resistors on that line, but that's all. Well, don't forget, Alan, that resistor's dead, remember? There's still something wrong with this resistor. This is a 430k resistor and it should be showing something else. I'm going to remove that resistor and put a new 430k on. I reckon that resistor's dead. I'm convinced that resistor's dead. So I'm going to swap that out. Well, there's nothing else on the 3.3 volt line. I mean, 3.3 volt comes out here. There's this, I mean, that resistor going to ground is for the LED. And it goes from this 3.3 into the FTDI. There is actually no resistance on this 3.3 line. There's no resistors on here anywhere. I mean, there's no resistors going to ground anywhere. Interwebs and that is, you don't need a resistor on the enable pin of your regulator. Oh, really? Oh, it's just reference-wise, David. Everything I've ever seen has it, and all the Adafruit references have it, and SparkFun has it. Yeah, the 430k, I don't understand how it's dead, but it's not reading 430k. Just going to check it again now the regulator's off, but... Stabbed myself. This resistor's reading 2k. Try feeding in 3.3 volts from a clean... I don't have a 3.3 volt clean power supply. Sorry. The only thing I've got potentially is a LiPo, but it's not going to be 3.3 volts. It's going to be 3.7 to 4.2. Ha ha, Andy. I could probably put it in the oven, yes, actually, and I could probably do it that way. Very funny. Estimate what's on the 3-point line so it's easier to pull off the FTDI. Yeah, the question though is, Alan, I have no resistors going to ground anywhere on the 3.3 line, so I don't understand what would be bringing the current down by the DC jack. No, this over here, this is 5 volts. This is all V-bus. So not those two. Those two are the D plus whatever. This here, that's 5 volts cap, 5 volt ferrite bead going into 5 volts on the FTDI. So yeah, there's nothing else on the 3.3. 3.3 comes out here. 3.3 comes out here, goes into those two caps for filtering, and then out, and it's going into the FTDI, and it's coming up here for the pull-up resistors, and up here to the ESP32, and across to the 3.3 pin just here. There's no resistors and there's no caps anywhere else. Do I have a 407? Right. Okay. I don't even know how I'd connect those to the board, folks. One sec. What have I got? Diode. Sorry, I'm just looking for components. I must have some diodes somewhere. Got a packet of diodes somewhere. Take it all off sound. Take it all off. I've only got 401s. That's all I've got in the way of diodes that I can recognize anyway. Da-da-da-da. Yeah. Okay, I'll pull the FTDI off. Fine. I'm not going to be able to get it back on again. Just letting you know. Not without putting it back in the oven, I don't think. Refill oven and just rip off all the components when hot. Yeah, I'll just stick my hand in the oven when it's hot. I'll just open the door, stick my hand in, and just... The question though is, Alan, because you're the one that's pushing me off. I'm jealous of my workspace. Why? Because I can run around in the office. I'll take 3.3 volts from an Arduino or a feather. That will work. Yes, that will work. Okay, let's do that. Okay, that's clever idea, Death Shaker. Much better than your remove the diodes idea. That's nasty. Okay, I'm just gonna plug my USB to USB. So I've got my. I'm just gonna pull this out a little bit, folks, and get it in focus in a second. I've got components all over my bench. Passives everywhere. I'm just going to move this aside. This is the good regulator. I want to keep that. Okay. Here's my feather. I need some wires. Let's get some wires. That'll do. 2 wires. Why are you jealous of my workspace, David? I don't have the space to get up and jog. Right, maybe a shuffle. Yeah, I've seen your room. It's not that small. Or maybe it was just an illusion with the camera. I don't know. Ground. 3 volts. So what do you want me to do? Where do you want me to plug this into on the board? That's the question. Oh, that's not going to... Okay. That's annoying. BitLooney's Lab is here. Hello. Welcome. How was your nap? BitLooney's been dreaming of Elon Musk. Haven't we all? See, do me a favour though. What do you want me to do? What am I doing, Alan? What do you want me to do before I blow this up? Yeah? Come on, what do you want me to do? I'm going to blow it up. What did I break? I blew up I've done something to my ESP32 development board that I designed. And I'm currently pulling components off. It's been shorted by plugging into a very nasty DC power supply. I've shorted it. So I pulled off some caps over here, and here, and I just pulled off my 3.3 volt regulator, and the short's gone away. But before we put the regulator back on and stuff, we're just doing some more checking. Look at the FTDI under the magnifying glass. Make sure there are bits shorting under there are bits or there are no bits shorting. You want me to see no bits shorting, right? Okay, let's look under the magnifying glass, shall we? Do you want to see if we can do it all together? Let's see if we can do it all together. You're not going to be able to see it from here. I don't understand how pins can suddenly short now. when it wasn't before. That's not going to work, is it? You can't, guys can't really see that, can you? Not easily. What new video? Did BitLooney post a video this morning? No way. What? What? I'm just... No. Really? Make your fair Berlin. Awesome. Yay. Love your videos. Gonna watch it straight after the stream. Short is not gone. It's still shorted in the 3.3 block. I don't know if it's shorted. I can't see any shorts. I'm not surprised if the FTDI is screwed, but I can't see any shorts, not from the pins. I really can't. I know you guys can't really see what I'm doing. That's okay. Couple little solder dabs there, maybe. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me see if you can see that. In focus. Can't really see that. It's been a while since you posted, BitLooney, after your stream, that 4-hour marathon mega stream. I thought maybe you'd given up on YouTube after that. That was such a massive stream. That was awesome. Okay, so I don't think there's a short here, but do you want me to just check? You mean, I'll check the pins. I'll check the pins. Let me go to continuity. Okay, let's do this. Let's check some pins. Let's go really close. I'll go as close as I can. And let me just focus. Whiskers. We're talking about cats? Cat food? Alan? Andy? Someone? Anyway? Okay, so I can't even see now. I can't even get my probes in. I can't see what I'm doing. Hang on. Let me turn around the other way. I need to get closer to me. Okay. Tri-solder balls from roof flow can cause an issue. The flux holding them in place. Yeah, I think that's what happened when I had my short the very first time, David. You know, when I first built it and I couldn't get it working. There was a little blob like that. I have many approached at the same time. All of them just queued for edit. I broke 5 ESPs. And really? Which ESP32s are you using? Solder whiskers, like thin strings. Okay, so I need something to support under the board. It's gonna. Okay, let's try this. Here we go. So I really can't see what I'm doing, folks. I need light. Well, I know that's bright. I'm sorry, but I can't see what I'm doing otherwise. Okay, so continuity is working. Okay, this is moving around. I think I need the breadboard. I'm just going to unplug the feather again. Oh, I stabbed myself with these probes, Alan. Seriously, buddy? Why'd you get me to get them? You did warn me I was going to stab myself. You did. I know you did. But seriously? Ow. What are you doing then? I have no ETA live D1 working boards anymore. Oh no. What were you doing with them? That is crazy. Okay. Okay, it doesn't seem to be any. I'm being quite meticulous. I know I should just go in twos. Oh, I think that's correct. They're both. So pins, I don't know what number they are, but the second two here are both 3.3. They're supposed to be joined. False alarm. And that one's not supposed to be. Okay, that's not good. That's not good. Oh, this is circuit board vices. No, I don't have a circuit board vice. I normally just work off my mat. I know. It's just my preference. So I definitely, okay, we've got a short here. It looks like that this black one here right now is on a 3.3 pin. And I'm pretty sure that's not supposed to be. Well, these are unused pins actually. I'd have to go to the schematic, to the data sheet to know what that is. But that pin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is not connected to anything. Oops. I shorted the decks. Applied 12 volt, look at the shorts. Yeah, so there's definitely a short here, but I don't know. Internally, they might supposed to be connected. I don't know. Let me just check the other side. So just me touching the. It's very hard to grab just the pin I want. I'm about half a meter away from my board. Whoever thought miniaturizing stuff was a good idea? Seriously. Oops. Those two pins. Yeah, that looks like a what are those two? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, they definitely look like they're shorted. Okay, so is that ground? I don't know which one of those are ground. Definitely looks like there could be some shorts on this side as well. Maybe. Okay, so let's warm up the iron. See if we can give it a bit of a clean. Time for a clean. Some fluxy flux. I'm gonna have to pull out a bit though. Sorry. I'm gonna need my light still. It's like in the middle of the 5 volt input USB wasn't passing it. Waste and repair them. Yeah. The problem is I don't know what we still don't know what the problem is. We've eliminated a short or a short with the regulator. So the regulator clearly was potentially dead. But there's something else. The regulator was working though. It's quite bizarre. Okay, I'm going to flux all of these. I'm just going to go over them all, try to do a bit of dragging and try to see if I can just tidy up any solder balls or anything on it. Because I've been using this with leaded solder recently, and this is all lead-free solder. I don't want to solder the tip. God, I can't see what I'm doing. I'm going to put the magnifying glass like this, maybe. Sorry if I'm in the way, folks, but I need to be able to see. I'm just using my chisel tip to hopefully pull off any solder that's bubbly. I don't know. God, this is... Hopefully not cause a short. I think I might have just Added a short. Oh no. Okay, let's try that. So the board boots, I can't get any connection over serial. It's not picking up the FTDI. Power looks fine. There's 5 volts on the 5 volt side. There's 3.3 on the 3.3 side. The 3.3 LED comes on, but the ESP32 gets really hot, and the FTDI chip gets hotter than it should be. And it's just not picking it up on the on 2 different computers. So, and both of them have FTDI drivers. Just use this desktop LED magnifier in use. No, I'm not using that. I'm using that for light right now. If I look through that, you guys won't be able to see anything. Okay, let's just check continuity again. Okay. Okay, so those ones are still seem to be connected internally, but that could be connected internally. Let's see what these ones are doing. Yeah, so they could be connected internally. What's if I get another FTDI chip and check continuity on those? Would that be a good idea? If I can find one. Here's some more of them. Really don't want to waste them. But whatever, here we go. We shall get the right way around. Let's see if there's continuity on those. We can get closer so you guys can see what I'm doing. Good thinking 99. Was that to me? Can I get closer? Closer, closer. Okay, sorry about the shaky camera. Sounds bad. Any output on the TX by the code. Gotta go. Bye, Leo. Thanks for joining. Appreciate your help. Chip pin out, perhaps. Yeah, there might be. I don't have a data sheet on me at the moment, so but I'll have a look in a second. But what I want to do is just do a quick. If it'll stay still. Yeah, there's definitely no continuity on that. Let me just check the other side. Just want to see something on my board. If it's yeah, no continuity there. Okay, so I've fried my FTDI chip, clearly, because I've got issues, continuity issues there. So, shall we remove it? Let's remove it. Let's do it. Let's get the sucker off, shall we? I'm not saying I'm going to replace it yet, but I'm going to at least remove it. Because it's definitely not good. Not good. Sorry, that's my halo. So you see what I'm doing? Can't see what I'm doing. I can't see the chat. Getting hot now is ESP. Well, the ESP won't get hot at all because there's no 3.3 volts going to it anymore, I guess. That's a good point. Well, let me pull this off first because there's definitely a problem. See what's hiding underneath. Aliens. There are aliens hiding underneath. For sure. I guess I don't have to worry about destroying the chip, right? I don't want to destroy the traces, but... Okay. So... that's off. Hey, Carl. How you doing? So I'm not overly focused on the chat right now. I'm pulling chips off the board. Let's see what we see. Incorrectly, wasn't FDI pin short the original problem? Yes, it was. It was my original problem. Let me see if I can, guys, get a better picture of that. Or was that a different board? No, this is the board. It definitely had a short. That was my original problem where I couldn't get where it was working, but I couldn't get the auto reset working. Because the 3.3 volt line, so the this 3.3 volt line here was shorted with this one here, those two. So doing excellent. Cool, good to hear. So I mean, this looks, I can't, yeah, there's no shorts here now, but I reckon the chip's definitely fried. So do we try to put I don't know if we should try to put a new one on again. Okay, let's try the resistance on the 3.3 line. Power it up now. I don't know what'll happen if I power it up now. I don't even know. Hey, Alan, you still there? You're asleep? Did I put you to sleep? About to check the resistance across ground. I'm still getting 8 ohms. Alan, if you're there, because you're the one that, well, sometimes I'm getting 8 ohms and sometimes I'm, wow, sorry, you guys can't even see that. What happened to my focus? Oh, boy. Okay, no, that's just silly. You can't see that either. Let's do that. We can see both, maybe. Is that the intentional trace? Is that a pin 1314 short? Where? Pin 1314. I can't see. Oh, under here? Yeah, they're both 3.3 volts. That's intentional. If you're talking about these ones just here, they're both 3.3 volts. Lines have gone blurry. Sorry. So if I... This is what I'm getting on 3.3 ground again, Alan. It's jumping around a bit though, look at that. Now it's gone to 0L. So open loop. I can't see any shorts on these pads. I'm sorry if your eyes have gone blurry. No shorts on those pads. I think everyone's gone to sleep. I don't blame you. So, yep, those pins intentionally was good. Okay, only looks like it's leaving one other device. I don't know what you mean. So, do we want to try putting 3.3 volts on that pin there and see what happens? And see if the ESP32 gets hot? I'm happy to try that. I'm not sure what else we can do at this point, rather than try to put it all back together again. Oh, wrong one. Wrong cable. Ground. 3.3 volts. Still going to pull. I know it's going to pull because there's no resistors on that line though, but I've been saying it the whole time. There's no resistors on that line, so I don't understand how it's going to do anything other than pulling that. And that's a design flaw on my side, I guess, but there is no resistor on the right-hand side on the 3.3 volt line that's going to do anything. How's it measuring resistance? I'm not sure what you mean. Bit loony? PSU with current. Right. So I don't have a power supply that I can use. This all started because my bench power supply is a piece of rubbish, and I'm not turning that on again. I've got a USB battery with one of those QSC things that shows me current. I don't have any current limiting anything at all. So, although I assume that the current coming out of the, how do I tell what the current is coming out of the feather? So here's my feather plugged in. Device still on the rail is the problem. Right, but what else is on here? I don't understand what else is on the rail that I could do anything like. What's left? We've got some pull-ups. We've got the ESP32. Do you want me to cut the trace going to the ESP32? Like, whatever. The board's dead. I'm probably not going to rebuild the board anyway. Like, I'm not going to fix this board. I'm going to... If I'm going to do anything, I'm going to reprint my second revision board and build one of those. So I don't care about losing this board. Do you want me to cut the trace to the ESP32? The 3.3 volt line? That'll eliminate the ESP32. And then what's left on here? There's pull-ups for the buttons. There's 3.3 volts going into the transistor here with the two resistors, which is for the auto reset. there's the resistor and diode over here. That's it. Oh. And these resistors, which are going for the TX and RX, but they're coming out of the FTDI, so they're not connected anymore. So the only things I've got connected now on the 3.3 volt line is a resistor and diode, 2 resistors with the transistor, and these pull-ups on the switches. If you can cut on the ESP trace, yeah, okay, no worries, but I could imagine measuring resistance will read random values since ESP32 will try to boot from the power provided by the meter. Oh, interesting. Really? Okay, that hadn't occurred to me. That would there be enough power coming through from the digital multimeter to try to boot the ESP32? Wow. That'd be crazy. Okay, where's my 3.3 volts coming in? My 3.3 volts coming in is from underneath. It's on the back of the board. Okay. Is that my only 3.3 coming in? I'm just checking. Pin 13, pin ground 3.3, 3.3, 3.3. I'm just checking everywhere. I'm just looking at my circuit diagram at the moment. My PCB diagram. I'm pretty sure the only 3.3 coming in is on the bottom of the board. And it's this. Okay, whoops, you can't see. It's this trace here to this wire. That trace there, that's my 3.3 coming in from here. So if I cut this trace, I'm pretty sure that's the only 3.3 that's going directly into the ESP32. The good news is if I cut the trace, I could always bodge wire between those two wires again. Oh, you can't see that. Hang on. Sorry. So if I cut this outer trace here, I could always bodge wire between there and there to connect it up again. You now have another justification to buy a roof lower. Yeah, I know. Greg, don't. I could have easily sacked, well, obviously I would have had to remove the header pins, but yes. I know. I want a roof lower. I do. Okay, I'm going to cut this. Everyone happy for me to cut this? That's my knife. Need a knife. I'm going to cut the pin. I'm going to cut the wire. Is it like a bomb? God, I can't believe I'm taking a knife to this board. Hang on, I'm going to make sure I don't cut the reset line while I'm at it. Release the low power from the meter as we fails to boot up all the transistors of the ESP will give you random readings, right? Okay, good to know. I need to see what I'm doing. I can't see what I'm doing. Cutting the trace sounds good. Cutting the trace, yeah. I'm sorry, I can't see what I'm doing. I need more magnification. Wow, this is the most awkward ever. Let's keep moving. I'll do it with my tweezers, hopefully, with my tweezers. Can everyone see what I'm doing? Maybe. I can't. Is that cut through? No. Wow. How thick is this trace? Okay, I need to keep going deeper, deeper. Pulse must still power it through the internal protection diodes. If ESP has any. I normally have no problems ripping up traces. I tend to destroy them quite a lot, but Okay, that's pretty wrecked. I'd say. Let's check continuity on that, shall we? But that to me looks pretty. Oh, I got that plugged in still. Continuity between 3. Yeah, that's dead. I'm pretty sure that's wrecked. Just to be sure, let me just check a normal board. Oh, okay, maybe not. Oh, have I touched the right pins? No. Yeah, that's cut. That is cut. Dremel trace cutter needed. I can go get my Dremel. Okay, so there's no more 3.3. So let's try resistance now. Resistance is futile. Sorry if you guys can't see what I'm doing. Okay, it's ground. Still jumping around. Right, now I'm seeing 9 milliohms. Not milliohms, mega ohms. 9 mega ohms. Okay. So everyone can see this. Sorry, but the board's blurry, but so you can see the picture. This is what I'm seeing now, Alan. You happy with that value? That's a pretty big value. So basically we've got maybe a dead ESP32 as well. Just pausing, just muting my audio for a second, folks. Okay, for those that are new to the channel, I've muted my audio so I could blow my nose off channel because I've got a sinus infection. So in effect, measuring the ESP alone, measure on the via under the ESP you cut to ground. So the one I cut, so the, okay, that, and where's ground? So that's the ESP to ground. Why is everyone doing sneezing emoticons? Thank you. Okay, so that's, yep. And if I do the other end, so the ESP is my 8 ohms. Yep, dead ESP, dead everything. Well, there you go. So what have we learned, folks? I tell you the biggest thing we've learned, don't buy a $50, it wasn't 50, I think it was 70. Now it's getting hot. Okay, you can power it now if it's getting hot. But there's no power getting to the room now because I just disconnected the. So how do you want me to power it? Do you want me to stick 3.3 volts there? because there's no way power's going to get to it now. I've pulled off everything. Like I'll have to use the 3.3 volts. Yeah, I just need to finish my thought. So yeah, moral of the story is don't buy a $70 DC power supply from eBay. Don't do it, folks, because it's shit house. I don't know why I don't swear more on my channel. I should swear more because it's not like I'm going to get demonetized, right? I don't have enough subs or views to get monetization anyway, so I might as well just swear. Don't buy a freaking crappy. Anyway, it's a bit loony. How do you want me to power it? Do you want me to stick just a 3.3 volts there from the feather and see if the ESP gets hot? I can do that. I don't particularly want to stick 5 volts to it. 2 hours, 2 minutes later, I've forgotten what it was I had to do this morning. Yeah, sorry. Sorry, Greg. Oop, no, don't plug that in. What PSU is it? It's literally a... It looks like this. You ready? Looks like that. You should know when it just says DC power supply. Yeah? So Alan even came over. We've got a whole bunch of caps and resistors and stuff there trying to temper the output. But yeah, it's just a switch mode. Cheap crap. Don't buy one. I know someone else has bought one. I mean, I don't know. Maybe for normal electronics work, but definitely not microcontrollers. Okay, yeah, I'm willing to try. I just don't know where to stick the power into it. Let's stick the power into here. You want to see if it gets hot, do you? Let's stick ground there. Oh, you guys can't see what I'm doing with the camera there. I need to pull the camera back out, maybe. Okay, stick ground there. Sticking 3, I'm assuming this is 3 volts coming out of the feather. I'm going to check if it's getting warm. Yep. You got a cheap eBay one as well, Greg? Me and David Watts have a tenner, really good for the 10 mark. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. I think it was a 10 mark I'm going to get from Element 14. 140 bucks. It's got like a, yeah, really low ripple. Yeah, this ESP is warming up. I think it's warming up. My hands are a bit cold. I don't have a temperature thing. That'd be really cool if I had a temperature thing. Yeah, ESP32 is getting warm. Warmer than it should after this period of time. I mean, my low-end board, the ESP32 gets warm, but it doesn't get hot. And it definitely doesn't happen this quickly. Yeah, that's getting hot. I'm not going to burn my fingers, but I don't want to keep it there for too long. It's going to get uncomfortable soon. So there you go. ESP32 is still getting hot. So I'd say that's a... Wow. Let's look at all the bits and pieces that I've... So there's my FTDI. Here's some caps and resistor. Here's another cap. Oh, all the goodies. So, yeah. I haven't seen that video of Big Clives with the same PSU, but yeah, I'm not turning it back on again. I'm going to chuck in the bin. I might take a mallet to it. And yeah, I haven't ordered the other one yet. I will. You know what? I don't actually use my bench power supply that often. Dick Smith Electronics Q1770. Yeah, I'm going to go with a 10 mark. Thanks. Have to say though, Siglent just released a new desktop bench power supply. Oh, looks really nice. I'm tempted to reach out to them and find out. It's going to be way more expensive though than the $140 for the 10 mar. I'm not clicking on that link. Sorry, Chris. Others can. I'm not going to do it. So, Okay, I'm not going to fix this board. I'm not even going to bother. I don't know how I could safely get the ESP32 off anyway. Hang on, Alan. Posting now. Making you a moderator. One sec. Okay, you can post a link now. And while I'm at it, just for fun, I'm going to make BitLooney a moderator. There you go. Now you can post all your crazies. I'm assuming every single person on this chat right now and every single person that's watching that isn't chatting because they're too shy knows about BitLooney's channel, right? And you follow BitLooney. Like, if you don't, do you want to stick your channel link in there? Well, I could stick the channel link in there. I should stick the channel link in there. Oh, wow, Chrome's crashed. Nice. Oh, no, we're back. Everyone should be subscribed to BitLooney's channel, BitLooney's Labs. Alan, what's that? Is that another power supply from Rockby? Let's have a look. What is that? Ooh. That looks nice. How much is it? 126. No availability on hand. Too bad it's broken. I've never managed to replace room. Yeah, before you join the channel, before you join the stream, hey Brown Alice, I can't even pronounce your name. Sorry. Before you join the stream, I was trying to hot air it off. Everyone was encouraging me to some people were encouraging me to hot air it off, and everyone was waiting for me to destroy it. But yeah, I'm glad I stopped because there's no way I was going to get it off. How much is that? Which one? The one that Alan linked to? You're welcome. But I'm pretty sure there's no one that is on my channel that doesn't know about your channel. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty positive. Yeah, I know. Element 14 is fine now. I was just kidding. Okay, I'm just going to... yeah, the 10480 was the one I was looking at, Chris. That was the one I was thinking of buying. Which is the same... Right, but Rock... Interesting. I think Alan was just pointing out that Rockby have it. Well, if they've got stock, I can just go pick one up today. Cool. Otherwise, I'll just order one from Element 14. But yeah, that's what I'm going to go for, I think. I'll sort of test it. No, we're not removing the module. No, it's just not going to happen. It's going to get destroyed. There's just no possible way I'm going to remove it without completely destroying it. And sorry, I know you're late to the stream. We've already determined that it's screwed because I cut the power trace here to it, and I manually fed 3.3 volts into it, and it gets really hot. It's dead. These are all the components we've ripped off. There's the FTDI chip off and a whole bunch of passives, and I'm not trying to fix this board. I was just trying to determine what the problem was with it. I'm not taking a Dremel to the ESP32 module. It's not going to happen. I'm not doing it. I want to keep this board for posterity, something or other, whatever that word is. Let me unplug this. Okay, so we've determined that I blew everything up. The FTDI was definitely shorting somehow, so whether it looks like it was an internal short. Where's my regulator? I forgot. I also pulled my regulator off. Here's my regulator. Once the regulator came off, that fixed the main short. So this regulator could be screwed or not. Pulled a bunch of passive off. I'm going to keep this. This is going to be a reminder to me to not buy cheap bench tools off eBay. Give it a proctology. Sibilant power supply. I'll go crazy. Yeah, so I don't know which one it was. I don't have mail on this machine, but I was just sent. Part of the Siglent group now, who gets sent all the emails on their products because I bought a scope from them. And just to be clear, everyone, I actually bought the scope. I've had someone in chat, not in chat, on comments, basically calling me a liar. Obviously, didn't like Siglant and was telling me that I've wasted my money and it's got a really terrible resale value and I should have done my homework first. And basically, I'm doing a nice job covering up the fact that they gave me one for free. I absolutely paid for my scope. I didn't pay retail, thankfully, but I paid for my scope and it was a lot of money. So anyway, yeah, Siglant's got a new bench power supply that's fully programmable or something. It's amazing, but I don't even want to know how much it is. And even if they gave me half price, it would still be twice as much as the Tenma. So I'm just going to go the Tenma, I think, because I just don't use it that often anyway. Especially now that I've got my USB power supply. I'm generally doing doing digital electronics. I'm generally just needing 5 volts or 3 volts, and I can just pull that off other things. So there we go. Wow. That was fun. I enjoy hot airing. So what I used to do with my hot airing, I was really clever. I used to hold the component when I was hot airing, and when I say really clever, I mean really stupid. And what would happen was, as it started getting loose, and my hand would be wobbling, I'd pull it accidentally and rip the trace off. And I've destroyed a few boards ripping traces off because I was impatient with my hot air. But now I've learned to just hot air it until it actually can just fall off and then remove it. LCD voltmeter, ammeter, what is that? AliExpress.com, step down, programmable power supply. Yeah, I'm not buying, thank you, but I'm not buying from China. It might be good, it might be a good supply, I don't know, but I'm going to buy a known brand from somewhere I can get warranty and support on, because not only has this been a frustrating process, gave me completely weird results on my scope, I've blown up a board, and I don't know what other damage I could have done with it. So I'm just going to get the Tenma. Surface tension is your friend. Yes. And you need all the friends you can get. That was fun. That was cool. That was awesome debunking. I mean, we don't know what I know what the problem was. It was the power supply. As in what the original problem is. Like, clearly I've blown all the components. So, you know, finding the exact fault in the end, who knows? It was something, but it's all blown. It's all good. I've lost more boards. Did a crap video on the DP20V2A using it as we speak. Okay. Was that a good supply? I don't know. That 10 looks great for that. I mean, I'd rather not spend that much money. I really don't use it that often, but I'd rather know that whenever I go to the supply, it's going to be good. Yeah, I'm gonna get new boards made. So the changes I've made with my new board, can you even see here? Let me just I mentioned at the start of the stream, but I'll just mention it again now. That I was never planning on powering these through 5 volts anyway, through the 5 volt pin. But what I've done now is, as you can see, that 5 volt pin is connected directly bypassed everything straight into the 3.3 volt regulator. I'm now bringing that 5 volt pin through the filtering. So if you do power it from the 5 volts, look, this board's for me. Like, I'm not even selling these boards, or I might even give some away in the future. I don't know, but not really. But it works. Okay. I mean, if it works, it's great. Mine works. My problem is the just the noise that comes out of it was insane. It was just seismic noise, which I'm just totally surprised by. I probably should have checked it earlier. So that's the change I made to the board. I've got that being filtered as well, and I've made some other changes. Like, you can actually hopefully read the labels now because these are too small, and I've broken out more of the labels on the back, so you can read them on the back as well now. And what other changes did I make? That's pretty much it, really. I thought about putting the CG 340G on and taking off the FTDI, but I might just keep the FTDI for now. I've got some, and I don't know what I'm going to do with them otherwise, so I might as well just leave them on there. That seems so long ago. Yes, it's been a long stream. Wow, guys. It's... What? Is it almost 10 o'clock? It's almost been 3 hours. That is insane. Wow. And I've only had one coffee in this time. Look how bright it is outside now. Well, cool. At least the brightness from the outside is stopping me from looking like an albino. So good news, my Reflow Master PCBs have shipped. I should have them hopefully by Friday. So I think next week's stream I'm going to build one live. I'm going to stencil it and build one. And then use my oven with my breadboard version of my Reflow Master to actually reflow it. So you'll get to see from start to finish all of it working. I don't know how I'm going to video that portion. I might have to bring my reflow oven here on the desk next to me. But the plan is to do a start to finish. Thanks, Alan. Appreciate your help. As always, I'll give you a call later. Maybe we'll grab some lunch or coffee. I'll bring a coffee over to your place. Happens fast. Yeah, it does happen fast, doesn't it? Your 4 hours was insane. Yeah, so my plan is to do a complete start to finish build of the Reflow Master PCB next week, assuming they actually arrive. The morning is gone. And then what I'll do, I'm going to send off maybe today or tomorrow, do one more sanity check on my new boards, and I'm going to send them off and get them done, and then I'll build one of those as well. I'll do that live as well, just for fun. Want to see code for Reflow. I will share my code out. It's open source. I'll be publishing the boards and the code, but I'll do it all together when it's ready, when it's done. I have a bit of code cleanup to do, and there's nothing nice about my code. It's not using PID. It's not using anything fancy. It's hardcore aggression code, but it works really well. So, well, it works on my oven really well. I'm keen to actually send something out to some other people to try it out on their ovens, but I appreciate that it's... I'm quite happy to put the board together for them because I understand that it's going to be a complex board to put together. But yeah, I'm curious to see if it works on some other people's ovens. What are we looking at on a... Not too bad. Not measure ripple or anything, but not any issues. The 10 mile's got a really low ripple from memory. Alan was looking at the other day. Okay, it's been almost 3 hours. I think that's enough punishment for everyone. It really is enough punishment. It's been fun. I'm disappointed I blew up the board, but I'm kind of, it's been a fun experiment. I've never really had a chance to pull apart or to, debunk a board that way, so that's pretty good. There's really nothing on this I want to salvage anyway. And what I might do with my first boards is just send a whole bunch of these first boards out to people, just so people can keep them as a memento. I don't know, maybe not. I've got 9 more of them. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. So I might send some packages out just for fun. They're a nice looking board. And they work. But yeah. So thanks everyone. Thanks for joining. It's been awesome. I didn't burn myself. I didn't blow myself up, which is always a good thing, I guess. But I wasn't playing with mains. I've got a big mail video coming on Friday. So hope you'll enjoy seeing all the bits and bobs I've been buying. Thanks for joining, BitLooney. I appreciate you stopping by. And enjoy your dreams of Elon Musk. I hope he replies. That'd be really cool if he replied, I think. That would... he does sometimes, but, he gets a lot of Twitter thrown at him. But if only someone could solve the travelling globally, that'd be good. Yeah. Thanks everyone for joining. Badges. Make badges. Out of these? No, not out of these. But on that badge note, stay tuned. Stay tuned. Thanks all for joining. I really appreciate your company. It's always a lot of fun. The chats are great. Hey, Maxint R&D. Yeah, we're sorry. The stream's finishing up. 3 hours is a bit much. For those of you that don't know, Maxient R&D has a channel as well. I don't know if I posted his channel link the other day. Let's see if I can find his link quickly. He's got a cool channel. He does some interesting stuff with electronics as well. Here it is. I'm going to quickly just post that in. He's with the Falcon today. He was busy. Oh, yes, there was a launch, wasn't there? I didn't get to see it. It was really early. I think it was my 4 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning. Got a lot of videos to catch up on today, but yeah, he's. I wonder if he obviously watches every launch, Elon. He would have to, but I wonder if he goes to the SpaceX headquarters for every launch. I've seen him at some of them, but I just love watching the launches live. It's amazing. It's a great time to be alive when it comes to space stuff. But anyway, that's Maxient R&D's YouTube channel. Go check out his channel and subscribe if you want to. He just did a video. His last video was about making a mini LED key module out of a 4-digit display. So yes, and everyone go watch everyone else's videos. Bye. I'm dragging this on again. I shouldn't drag it on. Really appreciate everyone's company, and until next time. Ciao. Oh, everyone, smash the like button. Hit the like button. No, not the dislike button. The like button. Yeah, thanks. Cool. Bye.